I'm on Bunzer now. I hear heli.
They're on me, dude.
He's on roof. He's on roof.
Oh my gosh.
This kid.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I almost had them all.
We're going back too.
Okay.
Oh, they climbed up from the ladder. That's what they did. Got him.
Another one dropped. Same guy. John McClane.
I got it. Below us.
Yep, I see him. Got him.
Swag, you're in Rebirth.
Coming.
Alright guys, so today I want to help you learn how to use linear correctly. And when I first started using linear, I didn't really know what to do because like people were just saying, oh, try out linear, you know, try out the aim it gives you, the way you can snap on people and stuff. But every time I tried it, and even watching people who play linear, their movement was really bad. And they even said it themselves. So if I like slide around a corner, it's like me, I can like get better with it because I'm so used to it now. But when they first started, let's just say I'm playing like 8-8, right? It's just so like snappy. You know, it's kind of like mouse players. You know how mouse players, when they slide around the corner, they slide like this and they quickly turn like this. It's not smooth. So that was like my biggest problem with playing linear. But I think before you should start playing linear, you need to do a few things first, just to set yourself up into understanding it completely. So, the first thing that I highly recommend is that you use control freaks. So, in my control freak video, I explained how when you use control freaks, it helps make your aim and your tiny adjustments a lot better. And since linear is based off of you having total control, if you have control freaks, it's gonna help you manage your control a lot better. So if you want to look like right here instead of looking over here, control freak is gonna help you snap onto that small spot. Whereas dynamic and standard, it already guides you in that direction. So control freaks aren't as mandatory as they are for linear. So I recommend control freaks. I also recommend that you start on a low sensitivity. You should not be playing like, in my opinion, you shouldn't be playing 7 or higher. I don't think you should be starting off that way when you're practicing. I really like 4 right now, but maybe if I'm practicing I might go down to 2, right? And this is just to help get my movement down. That's the main thing I'm concerned about. I'm not even concerned about the aim, because you can have really good aim pretty much on a few settings on linear. But I'm worried about the movement, because like I said, the movement is just so snappy. So when you lower your linear sensitivity, you're at least going to be able to practice your movement better before you move on to higher sensitivities. One other thing you should do is scale aim assist with FOV on. You got to make sure this is turned on, because if you turn it off, you're going to get more aim assist. And on linear, you don't want as much aim assist, because if there's a guy right here and you want to, let's just say, snap on the guy really fast, if you have more aim assist, you're going to like start to snap on him and it's going to start slowing down early, and then you're not going to have that super strong muscle memory. But if you have smaller aim assist and it's like around his body over here, when you snap onto the guy, the aim assist is going to trigger right around his body, and you're going to get a lot more kills that way. So make sure that's enabled. I also recommend you have an above average dead zone. So I think 0.05 is the average. 0.07 I feel like is really good for me. And I say this because, like I said, snapping on a target's right here, go over here. If you have a higher dead zone, that means you don't have to put as much input into the controller to stop it from moving. So if I'm on 0 dead zone, oops, it's like so much harder to stop it in place. For me to stop, I literally have to take like my whole thumb and everything off the controller to stop it. But if I'm playing 7, I don't have to take my thumb off the controller to stop it perfectly. It just stops. So make sure you have an above average dead zone. Alright, now that you have good settings to be able to play linear, the first thing you really need to work on, like I said before, is your movement. So linear is just super snappy. You're probably gonna mess up your jumps and stuff a lot. But it's very different than like standard and dynamic, because when I go in standard, right? Like standard starts off slow and it speeds up. So it goes slow and it speeds up. Slow and it speeds up. It's like really comfortable to get the movement down. Dynamic, you just like, I don't even know if I could play dynamic anymore. You just move so fast around the corner. But it's still really easy to get that rhythm. And then linear, you don't get that help around the corner. You don't get the help. You kind of have to like slide it slowly on your own. So instead of like just whipping your controller out here, you kind of have to like glide yourself like this. At least when you first start. So it's like glide. And it's pretty easy to do. And then if you ever want to snap on a corner, let's just say there's a guy right here, you know for a fact he's right there, you could just go like snap right onto the guy. You can't do that on standard or dynamic. But on linear, it's very broken. Love that move. So once you get the movement down, just sliding around corners, I would practice this for a little bit. Just practice without bots. Just go slowly, work your way up. I don't recommend just putting on the setting linear and then jumping into a game. Just work on your movement first. Because linear is all muscle memory compared to all the other curve types. So the more you practice with linear, the better you'll get with linear. And dynamic and standard, yeah, the more you practice with that, the better you can get too. But linear is 100% muscle memory, whereas standard and dynamic is not. So once you got this movement down, you feel like you have good movement. You know, you're really good with like bunny hopping with it. Or, like I'm on force sensitivity, right? I can easily go like this and pop out. Once you're good with making your movements quick or making your movements slow, once you're good with all that, then that's when you put on the bots and you work with your aim. Now your aim may be very off when you first start, because it's when you put it on standard and dynamic, you usually just like hold the thing until you touch the target and then you start shooting. Well, this one's different because if somebody's like right here, if I like hold it all the way this way, I'm gonna miss the target by a lot. So you gotta practice making like the slight adjustments instead of just flicking on the person and shooting them. And it does seem harder at first, just because, you know, you're forced to not move it until you touch the person. You're forced to just actually move at the exact speed that you want it to be. But if you practice a lot with this, like me, even the first day on linear, I felt like it had a lot of potential, but it wasn't the best for me. And now this is what, my second or third day playing on linear, and I feel like these are the best settings I've ever used. And I know I say that before, like when I switched to standard, I was like, dude, standard is so good. But then I switched to linear and I'm like, linear is so good. So me personally, I feel like dynamic is the worst, even though a lot of people play dynamic. Pretty much every professional plays with dynamic. But for me, I just really can't get used to dynamic after trying the other ones. It's really weird. I don't know. But just make sure you practice your aim after. If you do all those things beforehand, all those settings and with the control freak, and then you slowly work on your movement, and then yeah, you could bump it up to like 6 or 7, and then you start working on like your aim and all that, and snapping on people. I feel like you're gonna see a lot of progress with this. You're gonna be like, dude, I can move so much faster. I can. And I really gotta say this, winning close range gunfights has never been easier in my life. So let's just say, you know, I slide around here and I didn't know there was a guy right here. He walks up in front of me. I can easily turn around and snap on his face like that, super fast. Like it's super fast. Like, I can just completely demolish him. And I hit so many more chest shots and headshots with linear. So much easier for reaction time and stuff. But if you're on standard, it's like, and I don't play 7-7. I play 2-2 or 3-3. It's like it's too slow because like yeah, you slow down for more accurate and precise things, but if he's right here, it's not gonna be fast enough to shoot him. And I don't recommend playing standard on high settings because I feel like it's way too fast. And then dynamic, I feel like it's bad for super tiny adjustments. So if the guy, like, let's just say, I don't know, I see a guy like right there, right? If I use dynamic, yeah, I can snap in that direction, but it's gonna be really hard to track him. Whereas the other ones I can track him really easily, especially with linear. Linear, I feel like, is the best for super tiny movements, even though I thought it was the worst for long range. So those are my recommendations for linear. I feel like if you guys practice on it, you can get a lot better with it. And I'm not saying that every single person has to switch to linear to be good at the game. You can be great at the game on any single curve type. But this video is mainly for the people who want to try out linear for themselves. And I want to teach you how to use linear, like how to train to get better with linear, before you just try it out and say linear is garbage, linear is not good at all, because that's exactly what I did. I didn't know any good settings for linear, and I just tried it for a few games and thought it was horrible. And then when I actually played serious for linear, I did very well.
Yeah, stop, right? Stop with the loadout.
24. Should we back out?
That one?
Right there.
That's the bounty's teammate. We gotta kill the bounty now. He's on the move.
Dude. Finally get checked, bro.
The burst gun, dude.
It's all better. It's fine, dude. On me!
I downed him up top. I downed him up top too.
He has nipples, my son, bro. Oh, bro. This is good. I don't know, bro.
You killed the bounty, right?
There's already a black door, you know that, right?
Yeah, that's Steph Glizzy.
Yeah, that's my boy, bro.
Your boyfriend, Glizzy.
Yo,
Peek.
let's get a little bounce.
Please peek.
Front door. You get inside, get inside. I'm inside. He's in that same side of the building over here somewhere. This way.
Oh,
my
it's,
god.
I got a Fennec too. Let's go. Oh, I'm right on.
Keep going, Sam.
Dead. Is this a striker? What the heck is this?
No, you got this one.
You in one?
Oh, it's
Should get
MP5.
the 21, let's get the 21.
9 meters somewhere.
He's on me.
On Sue.
He's dead.
Okay. Nice
Oh my
job.
god. Talk
21.
about my kills, bro.